Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live. 3 people in here already. Yay. Let me get the mic set up here. We appreciate you being here. Speaking on behalf of Zen and myself, this should be good, eh? Welcome, Godfather. This time I opened up Twitter before I started the stream. That's the proper order, I think. This is funny to have a screen. This is a funny screen to have. Let's go. I think we're, join the space. Clear your throat, then join. Accept. I accept. Just signals a buying opportunity, in my estimation.
What's up, Banana?
Hey, Zen. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Got my sweater on because it's cold out and snowing.
That is cold. I was gonna say I got my sweater on too, but it's definitely not snowing.
Yeah. I've got the UFO chart pulled up. It has four red daily candles. Yeah. Yep. But I'm only showing about 20 days worth. So watch what happens when I zoom out. This is always fun. This is for everybody that needs a little encouragement. I'm going to zoom out to, we zoomed out to the end of May. And it looks great. It looks great. Now we'll put it on, and it's in USD. Let's put it on WPLS. I wonder how dramatic it is. Let's see. I really don't know. Let me see. Let me put it on the daily. About the same. But it's a great looking chart.
Yeah, sometimes it's important to retest those support and resistance levels, right?
Yeah.
That looks like what we're kind of doing. I don't think it's even just only us needing to retest those levels. I think it's just Pulse Chain in general wanting to consolidate and retest a little bit.
Yeah. Do you think this is one of the cycle pullbacks?
Well, obviously our system went up what is it? If you go from the range of 2 million that it was like a few months ago, it technically went up like 40x. But let's say a user got in anywhere between 2 and 4. So let's say they're up 20x. Well, a lot of people, a 20x is, a decent chunk. So some people take profits at those levels and stuff like that, which then creates a place of resistance, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it happens so quick. Like I think it happened in a matter of a couple months or even maybe a little bit quicker than that. So some people aren't on it or on the journey for as long as others.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
The sad part is I've watched this happen with pTGC multiple times, and it just keeps going on without them. It has its point of consolidation. It retests some levels, and then it moves on, especially with the power of RH tickers being so low still. It's just something to be careful with. The way I've learned how to do crypto was through RH, and that's just finding good products and holding them for a long period of time. It seemed to do really well for him. and that's kind of the style that I try to mimic. And well, so far, at least with this ecosystem, it's worked really well. So, but everyone has different prices that they're looking for and everything like that. I do love that anyone who comes and goes, it all adds to the system and makes the system stronger for the rest of the holders of the ecosystem. So
yeah. And it's going to continue to do that, you know, all through this up cycle and the down cycle and into the next up cycle. It's the system, pTGC and UFO, both of them are continually being fortified, strengthened, improved with every single transaction.
Yeah, it's a constant rebalancing from weak hands to strong hands. And like even like these micro, like we go up a good chunk and then we consolidate, and you know, some people leave and some people come in and then it moves on, or sometimes the market falls a little bit. We'll fall a little bit too, but we should be in a bull, so I think we'll keep going. But like the real question is like, what does the consolidation of the bear market do to this system, and how does it rise from that pullback? I think the redistribution of funds will be extreme at that point, and I'm very interested to see how the next level goes in the next bull market, right?
Okay. Yeah. So I think what you're saying is that like we're about to surpass 10,000 wallets here very soon. I think we're saying when you say redistribution, some of those, the larger wallets are going to exit, sell, probably not entirely, maybe some, but then new buyers will come in, and we might have, you know, 20,000 wallets going into the next bull market.
Yeah, well, we've already seen this even without the bull market, right? Like we've seen plenty of decent sized wallets capitulate, and new users just pick up where they left off, and the system just keeps moving on. I kind of look at it like everyone has like a spot they want to be at, and some people love to play just on brand new tokens and they ride it for a little bit and then they get out and they want to go chase a brand new token. Some people want to see a foundation set before they actually come into the ecosystem. And as of right now, I kind of look at like, you know, even the people who have made money in the system, some people who are still in the system, some people who plan on being in the system forever, even if they were someone who got in within the first 6 months, let's say. You know, all these people are setting the foundation for the future. We've been building up the LPs. We've been buying and burning the supply. We've been building out this web. We've been educating people. So really nothing, like the ship hasn't even left the harbor, in my opinion. We've just been prepping it for when we do, you know, set sail into this ocean. Not every person's going to be on board, right? Some people are just taking the paycheck and going back home. But, you know, I really think that the system in this consolidation period of pulse chain, like we still are below SAC rate, which I'm actually really thankful for it, because it gave pTGC and UFO really the opportunity to mature and get that LP bolstered up, buy and burn the supply, redistribute the tokens to stronger long-term hands, etc. And I think it's pretty primed and set for, you know, a wonderful journey into the bull market, and then even into the next bear market, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Kay Hudson asked a question on YouTube. He asks, can we speculate how many tokens will be needed a year from now to attain Dolphin? Let's just start with Dolphin. Let's just do Dolphin to attain a Dolphin position. Well, if you go to pulsetgc.com and go to the stats tab page link, you will see that we're projected to burn 16% in the next 6 months. Now that is at the current rate. Like if we continued at the current rate of burning, we'd burn 16%. A Dolphin position is 29 million, roughly 29 million tokens. So if you subtract 16% from 29 million times point.
Yeah, that 16% banana is total.
Mm-hmm. Oh, from the 333 billion?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to give K Hudson a rough estimate. It would be about 24 million tokens. If you went from the existing supply, the circulating supply, not the beginning supply, 24 million tokens for a dolphin, it would be 2.24 million. It'd be 240 million for a shark at that point. So, does anybody have any comments or questions?
Yeah, it's really interesting to kind of think about that, because if prices are cheaper but volume's high, we're going to be buying and burning more of our supply. If prices keep becoming higher and higher and higher, and volume becomes higher and higher and higher, we'd probably stay on somewhat the same trajectory. If prices rise ridiculous but volume slows down, it's going to be buying and burning a slower amount because the tokens are worth so much, right? And it's hard to predict exactly what the outcome of the future would be. What I believe is going to happen is, I believe prices will rise just naturally with the market, and also volume should pick up, because as prices of the market rise, our liquidity rises, which then increases our volume, because now market makers need to move more value to fix prices, which obviously amplifies the rewards of the system and the buy and burns of the system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what would be an interesting study, and somebody could do this, but it would be so nerdy. It really wouldn't be worth your time, but it would be interesting to see how many new millionaires have been printed from this protocol. So I know that I'm starting to hear from colleagues that are, they just became new millionaires. One person that I was talking to put, let's see, it's tough to explain things on the stream. 20% of her portfolio tokens are pTGC and UFO, yet the value of her wallet is 75%. 75% of the value is pTGC and UFO, if that makes sense. 20% of the 20% of the capital, 20% of the capital input was pTGC and UFO, yet 75% of the value at this present time is pTGC and UFO. New millionaire.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, so she used 20% of her portfolio to acquire pTGC and UFO, but now pTGC and UFO have over 75% of her portfolio.
Yes. Yeah. Very excited new millionaire. Yeah. To be congratulated. And I'm sure there's a bunch of them. I mean, really.
I am bringing someone up. He might have questions. It says it's connecting.
Okay.
It's taking a little bit. So maybe we'll just keep going and see if that finally goes through. I don't know if it's on his end or our end or what.
Sure. Are you excited about your stream of coffee this week?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm glad this one's in the morning. I'm more of a morning person.
Right. Yeah. I made an observation. I have not voiced this to. I'm trying to think if I'm telling the truth here. I think I told one person this, that I'm going to make an observation about you and the other founders, because I know the other two founders. There were three of you, and I've had conversations with more with you, obviously, but the other two I've had interactions with. Never, I don't think I've actually verbally talked to either of them. But from what I understand, of all three of you guys are very like you're the front man. We can get you to talk and you open up and you will talk. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're more of a quiet, kind of reserved guy. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'd say that's correct. I definitely wasn't planning when I started this journey of, building this tool for myself. I didn't think at the beginning of the journey of building the tool that I would be public speaking every single day.
Okay.
Public speaking is definitely not one of my strong suits. I think I'm getting better at it. And I guess that's kind of good, right? Like to learn new skills and get better at different things.
Yes.
So it kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone a little bit and let me evolve and grow, which is cool.
Yes, I agree with all of that. And what I find interesting is that all three of you guys are, well, the other two are probably even more so quiet. And I would include myself in that camp. I am not. I can make myself be overly friendly if I want to, but I just assume kind of watch people and not so much engage people, if you will. So why is it, how is it, and how odd is it that you have three founders that two, I think, are almost sheepishly quiet and one is just kind of quiet, yet they build this protocol that is taking Pulse Chain by storm. Neither of them is a bombastic, in-your-face salesperson. Nothing, I don't think either of you, any of you three, are a strong-willed, perhaps like personality that chase it down and kill it. And I mean, I know you work hard, but I just don't see that. And I see easygoing, quiet, kind of reserved, and that just, to me, that's very profound.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between a lot of talk and a lot of walk, right? And I'd rather just let what we're producing on the blockchain as far as code, LPs, what the products do speak for themselves. And obviously, they're kind of complex, so we need to explain it and, make sure people know we're still here. But I think the product speaks for themselves, so it doesn't really need a salesman to, jam it down your throat. Like once you understand it, you can't really come back from it.
Yeah.
That's how it is, I think, for most people who do start to understand the system to what it could and what I believe it will be. Once it kind of hits you like a semi truck.
Yeah, I'm perma wrecked on pTGC and UFO, and pretty much have been since I saw the light. I got wrecked on Hex too, man. I'll just tell you, when I discovered Hex, it was over, man. That thing was so innovative, and then here comes pTGC and UFO. Innovative to a different level.
Yeah, but both kind of thanks to RH in a way, because pTGC and UFO to operate at this magnitude wouldn't be possible without the opportunity that RH kind of set up for us.
True.
And sometimes it's not about the building, it's about the foundation the building's built on. And I think RH kind of gave us that really good foundation to kind of start off with as a good building piece to what we're working on.
Yes. What does anybody know anything about the case that there's supposed to be a potential kind of movement on the case this month? I heard something about the judge is going on a vacation and she might want to get something done before she goes on vacation. Does anybody know anything about this? I'm curious. If you do, we certainly welcome you to come up and say something.
Yeah, I don't know that much about it. More pretty much that's all I know about is what you just said.
Hey,
So,
hey, how you doing?
good. How you doing, man?
I'm not bad, not bad. Just to guys, you were talking about the case. The lawyer Herbal guy, he just tweeted this morning. He say, we may receive anything new from now until second week of January. So basically, we can expect anytime soon. So yeah. Personally, I would. Yeah, I'm a Hex guy. I've been with Richard since the beginning, so I follow the stuff. I'm a new NUFC in pTGC a couple months, 2 months. So I think we're gonna get news. I will see probably in next couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks max. But definitely, as the lawyer said, everybody is optimist. I think the case is gonna be dismissed. Yeah, that's pretty much the way why I listen to you, because I'm investing in pTGC. I'm trying to learn more. So yeah. So when you invest in something, you try maximum to get enough stuff and enough material about. So I'm learning about pTGC. I like the way they burn system. Yeah, I'm listening to you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming up, and thanks for giving that information on it. So it sounds like no matter what, we're going to have some form of information within a month, right? So that's awesome news to hear. So if you don't mind me asking you, if you have any additional questions, would you like to ask them right here? Because that's why we hold these spaces, or if there's any parts of it.
Yeah. Actually, well, I feel bad for myself because I get the chance to invest in pTGC like 5 months around March, and when I was looking at the coin, I see, oh, there's a scam and this kind of stuff. And after what time, like last month, September, I see, what, let me give it a little bit of time. So I learned, what I found out, what recently pushed me is I found out that's Maria. She was one of the founder, I guess, right? And yeah, I like the system. I listened to a couple friends, and yeah, I think the project is awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much everything.
I don't mean to burst your bubble, but Maria is not the founder of this ecosystem.
But some people, they said this one of them, or has nothing to do with the project.
We have like LP pairings with the Tropa ecosystem, so we have quite large LPs with Teddy Bear and the Tropa.
Okay.
But
yes,
that's really the only thing connecting us to each other.
Yeah, it's a much right. Yeah, I've been learning from the system like couple weeks. So now it's a solid project. I think it needs time to build a big community, but overall, everything seems perfect.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming up. You said you like the buying and burning factor.
Well, it's 12% right now, right? In 1 year, I don't know what's gonna happen like after like 1 year or 2 years. So yeah, what do you think? It's crazy.
Yeah, 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years. Like it's gonna be interesting to see how it just keeps eating away at that supply. If price keeps running up really fast, obviously it'll be more difficult to buy and burn a good chunk of the supply, but it will be buying and burning and injecting tons of value into the liquidity pools and taking those tokens out of circulation, which is obviously another huge net positive to the system. So I'm in the same boat as you. I'm just excited to see how the machine really just plays out for the next, honestly, is till I'm dead.
Because me when I saw the project in the beginning of the summer, as soon as I see the trillion or something like big circulation supply, I skip fast. You know what I mean? And that was a big mistake. I didn't see the burn system. So yeah, it kind of turned me off the first time.
Yeah, that's the hard thing about crypto, right? There's just so much noise
it's really hard to look at every single project because of all the distractions and the majority of them, 99% of them do fail. So you have to put up your guard. If you don't have your guard up, you're going to lose all your money. So you need to put up your guard and really dig into each project one by one until you find the ones that you're willing to ride into the sunset with, is my opinion on it.
Do you mind I ask you a question about the developer? The developer, like famous people, like well-known in the system? Because I can't find really the real developer. Like, I have no idea who's developing the project, behind the project.
Yeah, so I'm the founder along with two other people. The developers are unreleased names, though, and we just work alongside them. But I'm the founder of the project. I'm the one that educates on it, yeah.
You know what? I've been in the game since 2016, so I've been like almost 9 years. So, we do a lot of mistakes, and it's we learn from our mistake. One of the mistake I didn't invest so much in Hex when I start, and I feel bad. So, and one of the things, second mistake I did, I don't invest in your project in Mars. It was like nothing. It was worth nothing. You know what I mean? And now I feel bad. You know what I mean? So it's sometimes we feel bad about the past.
Yeah, I don't think you should feel bad about the past. You're here now. I believe it's still very, very early in the ecosystem. PLS is still below sacrifice rate. I always say that the system is really going to amplify when Pulse Chain and the RH tickers start to go up from sacrifice rate. So the machine isn't really even running yet. So yeah, it's been a year since we're out, but I was just kind of talking about this. The early year, we were really just setting the foundation and getting ready for what this bull market has in store. And I think
definitely. I'm from Canada. I'm from Toronto, Canada. It's really when I talk to the people in the ecosystem, most of them, they don't know even Richard Hart. They don't even, like, some of them, they know Hex, but as soon as you say Hex, they said, oh, it's a scam. It's a scam. I told them, just give it time. Like, do some research. Like, just give a couple times. Most of them, no, it's a scam. You know what I mean? And I feel we're really have the privilege to be in the early in the system.
Oh yeah, it's and really the price volatility of Hex that's happened is just opportunities for people who believe, and obviously this ecosystem is a huge believer in RH, and we've been trying to take advantage of that opportunity as much as possible. A lot of the reason I think fingers get pointed at RH is because he is someone who actually stands up and speaks up against people who are actually taking advantage of people who don't understand how the system works. And the easiest thing to do is to point back at him and call him a scammer back. But he's far from a scammer. All his products have ran 100% flawlessly since they came out. I don't think we can ask for much more, honestly.
Definitely. Okay, guys. Well, nice to meet you. I wish you the best. We are in the same boat. And yeah, thank you.
I appreciate you coming up.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
See ya. All right, Banana. Where do we want to take it from here?
Well, there is a comment by Andrew Schmidt that he comments on what we were talking about, the case just a few minutes ago. He says verdicts are typically decided 45 to 90 days after the final hearing. The 45-day mark was this Monday, like today. So today was the 45-day mark. So we're halfway to the point where we should hear something back. A verdict.
Awesome.
A verdict. Yeah. So thank you for that, Andrew. So what's 45 days from now? End of January. So I think we're on track. I think what that gentleman said earlier was right on point.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's well in line with, I think, the market too, right? Like we should be looking at a good alt season going into March.
And if we can get some good information on RH's ecosystem, that doesn't really change much for me personally, but I think it changes a lot for other people looking in. And it would, if we had some good news there, I think that would open up the doors for a lot of people who aren't necessarily the maxis, but are kind of watching from the outside, you know, debating coming over here.
Yeah.
And I think that would definitely push them in the direction of coming over here and participating on this chain. Luckily, once you get on this chain, it's just so sticky. Like once you come here, like it's really hard to like go back to anything else, I've noticed. So, extremely.
Yeah, if you are new to the chain and you're deciding what to, you know, buy over here, sorry for the siren, pTGC and UFO are figuratively and almost literally an index fund. They are an index fund of the best assets on the Pulse chain, and not just the best assets, but RH assets. And because we have a DAO, we can decide what assets we want to pair with. So we're always on the hunt for the best ones. So these tokens are a great place to start, because when you hold these tokens, you hold the other tokens in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. For anyone listening, when you bond liquidity with another asset, you and those assets tend to move together. The more you bond with them, the more likely you are to move together as one, because it's all ratio based. pTGC and UFO are connected to pretty much all the blue chips of Pulse Chain. So in a decentralized way, using LP webs, we have actually created a system where there's singular tokens actually connected to all the blue chips of Pulse Chain. So if RH tokens go on a run, but some alts stay behind, you get a mean, an average of those gains and losses. If some alts go on a run, but the RH cores stay behind, you get a mean and an average of all those losses. Just like with any index out there, ultimately, you're getting an average of the portfolio's performance. But another thing on top of that, you're not only getting the average of the portfolio's performance, you're also bringing in revenue from those assets moving up and down and using the liquidity as a source. And then we're bringing that value back to the holders and to the underlying value of said tokens of pTGC and UFO. Very unique, not really done on any other chain before that I know of. And it's been working really well. And just by holding the tokens, you're technically holding all the RH blue chips, or RH tokens and the blue chips on chain, which, in my opinion, a lot of people are looking for.
Yeah.
Basically, pTGC is just a future core coin. And what's so cool, it's interlinked to all the other core coins.
Yeah, 100%.
My only thing is, like, why is there professional fudders in this ecosystem? Like, I'm optimistic every time I'm in the chat, but you just see them just plow through X and then just fud it so bad. And I'm like, why do they do that? Like, it doesn't even work. Like, people know what they hold, but yet there's some people that just are fear mongering. Just, I don't know. It's crazy to see programmed fudders like that, and it's annoying. You know, like, you see them, you read that, and you're just like, this is trash. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, I don't see that many fudders. Really, if they're fudding the system, they're kind of fudding their own chain in general, because this token is one with the chain that has so much liquidity. But I don't see that much fudding. If there's someone fudding it, I bet they just didn't get into it and it's kind of just being a hater from the sideline, or they did get into it and took too many profits too early, and now human natural emotion is kicked in and envy has now taken place. There's really not that much you can FUD in a system like this.
Precisely. I guess it's just on them, you know, self-infliction. So
yeah,
I know what I hold, so I just zone it out and block them. It just sucks that they're Hexicans and Pulsicans too, man.
Yeah, I think everyone can win. You know what I mean? And I want everyone to win, even if they're on our ship or if they're on a different ship. I hope everyone does get that win this cycle. The nice thing about what I know we have here is I always use the saying, the ball is partially in our court. We don't need someone else to make baskets for us. Us as a community can actually do plenty of X's on our own without the help of any outside forces. And to have control of your destiny is a big step in the right direction.
The thing is, man, is that, if I asked you what gives a token its value, what's the answer?
People.
What gives a token its value? The integrity of the ecosystem, the community, the freedom of speech. I mean, there's so many things to describe it.
Fundamentally, what gives a token its value?
I think, hello?
Yes.
Hello? I think what gives the token the real value is the community. How many people believe in the project? Let's say XRP. XRP, we know it. It's been here for years and years. There is no development. There is nothing new about it. It's not even a blockchain. But there is so many people believe in that project. There are people they believe XRP, they're going to reach $1 million, $5 million, 10,000, crazy numbers. You know that, right? But there is a lot of people are willing to wait, to invest, and they have a faith, belief in the project. I think, I know the other stuff, but I think the community, it's a real value of the project. And that's my own view. Thank you.
Yeah, so I agree with you, right? You have to have users. But fundamentally, what gives, for me, my definition is, what gives pTGC its value? For example, what gave pTGC value at $1 million market cap or at a $5 million market cap? For me, being in a V2 AMM, it's not hard. It's what is pTGC paired with? What can I exit pTGC into? And how much liquidity is available for me to do that? Okay, so when anybody launches a shitcoin, if they launch it and they have $1,000 of liquidity in it, and it's paired with another shitcoin that is meaningless, that token's basically meaningless. If somebody launches a shitcoin, and when I mean shitcoin, I mean it's bad or good. I just mean just something that's DeFi stuff. If just an altcoin, and you pair it with $1 million of ETH, it's got $1 million of ETH paired with it. That's a valuable shitcoin. I mean, there's something going on there, right? But a community can dump the living daylights out of any token. Intrinsically, for me, when I look at pTGC and UFO, the first thing I look at is the amount of burnt value or value that's paired with the ecosystem. The value that's paired with the ecosystem is the very things that all those hex maxi people love, right? So you're literally looking at $1 million of burnt liquidity for pTGC with just hex alone. You're looking at like $2.7 million of burnt liquidity with Pulse Chain alone, with Ink, with PDI, with all these the blue chips on the chain. So when you look at how the system works and you realize that pTGC is nothing but a claim check on the very things that you're a maxi on, but by owning them in this protocol, what you're doing is you are now in an asset that amplifies the performance of those assets. It's undeniably, it's undoubtedly amplifying the performance of Hex, of Ink, of Pulse Chain, of all those assets, and then you can swap right back into them whenever you want to. We have done thousands of X against the maxis. The maxis are wrecked compared to people who have invested in things that they see has principally a mechanic that is paired with the very things that they love, and they've just been obliterated compared to these protocols. So I own with pTGC Hex. I own Inc. I own Pulse Chain. I own Pulse X. So a maxi should literally be freaking falling in love with these kind of protocols that, well, but they're rare, right? But pTGC, like $15 million of burned liquidity or whatever it is with the blue chips on chain. It fundamentally, what it is a misunderstanding of how crypto works. They don't understand what it is that they're staring at, and they're pissed that their shit's not going up as fast as they thought it should, and people on chain are absolutely killing it, and so they just get pissed, man. That's what they do. But who cares about that? Those voices just should be muted, because those voices haven't made anybody any money at all. You know?
This is why I like coming to this space, you know, the reassurance, the quality of people that are in this group to like give you reassurance. Hey, you should still always be on that same, you know, group. And then some people like that just don't truly know what they hold. And then, like you said,
the protocol has bought so much Hex off the market and burned it with pTGC. You're literally sitting on over $1 million worth of liquidity with Hex. If Hex goes to $1.50 or $2 or $3 like the maxis say, what the hell do you think the value of that liquidity pool is going to be for pTGC in just that one pool? But with this system, you have all of the financial mechanics that doesn't have, right? So it's not an either or, it's a both and that's the beautiful thing. You don't have to be a either or. You can be a both and still win and still support Richard Hart and his teachings and his ideology and everything that he created, because that's why we're on his chain, right? But you can see it in the numbers. You don't have to guess. You don't have to sit here and twiddle your thumbs wondering, oh, is this the right? Look at the charts. Look at the amount of burnt liquidity. Look at the amount of APY people have been earning. And if we just have a revaluation of the Richard Hart ecosystem by a 10x, we're not going to be sitting on a $40 million of liquidity. We're going to be sitting on $400 million of liquidity. Our community.
Jesus.
Now, do you know anything on any chain that has $400 million of liquidity?
No, I've looked.
At a 10x of the mean of Richard Hart's tickers, this ecosystem, barring, it's obvious, you're looking around that number. Even if you had half that number, do you know any protocol that has $200 million of on-chain liquidity?
There's none, man. There's none. I've looked.
No.
That's
and then
why.
On top of that, the thing literally generates its own revenue 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And not only that, but y'all launched this too in the bloodiest bear market ever, which is fucking incredible. So it had room to grow, it had to adapt, evolve, and now that it's already got like a huge giant like web, and then when the bull market freaking hits this like ecosystem exponentially, man, them bots are gonna be like, oh, this is a walk in the park, and all of us are gonna be sitting back and making money.
Well, the thing is, man, when you don't know what you're doing, when you think you know what you're doing, or maybe you hit big with one thing, but you never got educated on anything else, and then you see other people winning, it's like the Bible has a bunch of sins in it: jealousy, envy, greed. All these things is these are things that you see playing out in tweets. It's not hard to break it down. But the beautiful thing about what Zen built is he built something on Pulse Chain that is phenomenal, that is 100% benevolent, that gives everything back to its community, and that is 100% backed by Richard Hart's ecosystem and Richard Hart's tickers. And literally, you're seeing it. I mean, 45,000 burnt in a day here, 35,000 burnt with Hex here, 45,000 with Pulse X here, 55,000 with Pulse Chain over here. There is no protocol on Pulse Chain that even comes close to doing what this protocol is doing. Name it. Name it.
I've seen a bunch of fake numbers, fake TVLs, fake liquidity pools, and I mean, if they have to fake their numbers, then it's clearly it's a sign. And then this ecosystem that Richard Hart has created is literally making the TVL numbers. It just keeps getting gatekeeped. It's just wild because then they know this thing is going to launch exponentially.
Yeah, and like right now, we see a little bit of a lull in Pulse Chain. So what happens is that people, they see the price of our ecosystem coming down, and then you'll see in the chat, you'll see in the TG, oh, this is this and this is that, because they truly just don't know how the systems work, right? So you have to be patient with people, and you have to be kind to people. But when it comes to people that are fudding things that are just phenomenal, that's where I kind of get a little, upset. Not emotional, but just, it's like, man, I want to engage, but because it's just not worth it. Our community has gone through so much of that kind of BS that it's just not worth it anymore. We're in a bull run, everything's supposed to be community driven. And look, if you don't like a protocol, don't get involved with it.
Right? I mean, get out. Delete
Like,
delete it.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna try to be the police of a global blockchain? Do you see people policing Ethereum, policing Solana, No,
they're not.
no. That's laughable. Like, look at Vitalik, right? People tracking Richard's wallets or what they think are Richard wallets. What does Vitalik do? He literally dumps freaking hundreds of millions of dollars on people's heads all the time. He gets free tokens. He wrecks whole charts all the time. Richard doesn't even sell anything. And then he gets called the scammer. And then the people that come and build on his chain, amazing stuff that are designed around the philosophy of what Richard Hart taught fundamentally, the maxis, it's just ridiculous, bro. They don't understand what they're talking about.
Not a core token, can't touch it.
Like that hurts. Like, but you hurt everybody else that does it. Yes, they're a Hex Maxi, but then I'm like, but Pulse Chain was created to design protocols with the ecosystem. Why can't they just fathom that? Because Hex made them a lot of money. I get it. They need to still to be optimistic and bring everybody in here. That's the thing. Like this is what I love about this ecosystem. This what pulled me in there is the community and how optimistic and how smart and everybody's well-knowledge, well-informed, and how cryptocurrency works. Because let's face it, everybody's been scammed, everybody's been fudded, everybody's lost their bags, got rug pulled, and ain't nobody want that shit. They want all that here.
Yeah, I don't care if you want to be a maxi or not in any blockchain or whatever. Do whatever you want. That's freedom. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of whatever. But when you try to infringe on everybody else's freedom because they don't want to be, indoctrinated by your cult, and I'm not just talking about people on our chain, just in general, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. And the communities on these chains that are doing that, they just need to graduate in their mindset, because you cannot control humans on blockchains.
Or at work.
Especially on this one, because we're fully decentralized.
Like how can nobody like sell that so easily. Like, we're truly decentralized in this ecosystem. Everything else that people are heavily invested in, all the whales are invested in centralized shit. And that's not what cryptocurrency was designed to be. It was designed to be decentralized. People forgot the memo.
You know, the one thing that I love about the original Hex community, they're smart people. A lot of them are just very smart. They're on-chain people. They're great people. But I'll be honest with you guys. If we took a poll, it's probably not that high of a percentage anymore of the people that we would actually even consider. How many people do you actually think are just Hex maxis now? Not that much.
There's not that.
No,
There's like a handful.
Well, I don't know. Like, look, all of the biggest influencers of the ecosystem I know personally, none of them are just that. So,
and they've all had to jump into subgroups to thrive during this bear market. I mean, you look at Katie jumping in with Dick with Butt, and the Tang Gang, and Sami and his Pikachu and Pokemon stuff.
Hey, God bless them all, man. Make your own little island and have fun over there. I don't have to go there.
I think everybody's got their own time to discover certain tokens. And everybody needs to be given space for that time to happen. I think also what happens is when people, and this is a very common thing, and we have to face it sometimes in ourselves. When we see something so unique and innovative, we get cognitive dissonance. When something is so contrary, or maybe a little bit contrary or different, like pTGC and UFO are from the other tokens, we can have cognitive dissonance. We just kind of diss it for a while, right? But there are also, I want to speak about one other thing, and that is the stages of acceptance that people will go through. The first stage is denial. You refuse to accept the reality of the situation. And as I'm looking at it on ChatGPT right now, but as I learned it, the first stage is denial. Second stage is mocking, and they'll mock and make fun of that thing that they should probably adopt, but they're just in that stage of learning. And then the last stage is, well, the second to last stage actually is anger. They get upset and like angry, and they'll lash out. And then suddenly the fourth step is acceptance. Sometimes people need to go through those. Sometimes people will take a little longer to go through those stages. Some people go through them a little shorter. Some people just adopt right away. Everybody's got their own time.
Very true.
What's the ranking, like not including the core tokens, but is there even another protocol that has close to the liquidity amount in dollars to pTGC and UFO other than the core tokens?
The only thing that's even close is the Atropa ecosystem.
And we're what? How many holders are we sitting at right now in comparison to Teddy Bear? Because the last I saw Teddy Bear, when I looked at it, it was like 16,000 holders, and we had like 2,000 or something like that.
Yeah, no, Teddy by far has the largest holder count. I think that the current count for Teddy is 24,426.
And we have 10,000.
Yeah, which is where I think the opportunity is to get a lot more holders, which is why, behind the scenes, I've been working really hard to try to get, I think anyone who has a conversation or hears a conversation with TG Zen, I think a high percentage of them would be convinced and will be onboarded, because when it's undeniable after you speak with him, and it's really hard to, you're going to want to buy in. He's one of the best.
Is someone speaking right now, Banana?
Yes,
Yeah,
Stylus is.
Yeah, Stylus is.
Okay, I'll just be quiet for a sec if you guys want to answer, because I can't hear.
Okay. So I think that, the stream tomorrow with coffee, I'm really, really excited that that's happening. And I really hope that everyone who's here is able to join and support and really show the strength and then the kind of ethos of this community, because this is community, I think, is in terms of sub communities on Pulse Chain, this is the one I think is the best one. And just in terms of the intelligence, in terms of the level of education, in terms of the openness, the acceptance, and just in terms of the tone and manner within which we conduct ourselves. So I think that, the more people get to know us and get to know TG Zen and hear Coach and hear Mendo and hear Prairie, speak about the Gray's currency and about UFO, I think that the more people we will onboard, but we have to keep putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
These spaces are fantastic, but I also think at the same time, we need to focus on talking to people outside the spaces and people who don't know. I mean, the stream with RG3 on Saturday, I spoke with him afterwards, and, he's onboarded. He's invested in UFO now because of the stream and after talking with TG Zen. So this is something that, and he's a big player, and we want to get more big players involved. So, we want to get that holder count up. We want to catch up to Teddy Bear, and I think that's something that we should all be focusing on.
Well said.
Working on it.
The stream with coffee, by the way, is at 11 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday. 11 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday. Coffee's channel. It'll be on his channel. If you can be available to liven up the chat, like it, sub to his channel, all that stuff. It helps.
Yeah, it does help when you have your token go on Crypto Rand's show. that was a massive onboarding tool for Teddy, and it just hasn't stopped since then. But I agree with you, Stylist.
Yeah, we'll start with coffee. He's one of the biggest streamers we got. We have Sami talking about it here and there, but my feeling that he's not a big holder, so he doesn't talk about it too much. I think quietly.
Which honestly, Stylist, I think that's just silly. Like if somebody is a bigger influencer or a voice on a chain, they shouldn't just be willing to talk about something that they own. They should be willing to talk about things that are amazing on the chain and that are new innovations on the chain.
Absolutely.
And that people are winning with.
No, absolutely, Mendo. But in fairness to Sami, he has given some really, really made some bullish posts about pTGC and UFO. So I don't want to take away from that. He's really kind and really quite bullish in his in what he's posted and what he.
It's true.
That's true. He doesn't do it often, but when he does, it's very impactful. So I don't want to take away from that.
Yeah, there's a lot of influencers that promote a lot, and I understand why they don't promote this one as much. But I mean, there are a few. I mean, started with Vital Finance.
We're having trouble hearing you.
Really,
you sound muffled.
1 second.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to say hello and just show some love by just being here and supporting the space. Been in UFO for a hot minute, and yeah, I've been very multi-chain. I honestly don't really exist too much in Pulse Chain just because of everything that goes around in this ecosystem and the kind of cult societies that are built within here. That's not my flow. I like being able to expand. I want to be an artist that doesn't feel like they need to be in one place, but I always find myself coming back here because it feels like a nice home, I guess you could say, within Pulse. And yeah, I just wanted to just say that.
Thank you, man. That's awesome. We're glad you're here, man. What do? You're an NFT guy? Did you say that?
Yes. Or no? Yeah. So yeah, I'm a Web3 NFT dude. Been in the space for about 4 or 5 years. I've literally lived off of art for 4 to 5 years. Within NFTs and Web2. Purely. I dropped out of college, quit my food delivery job, picked up art, and straight up just pursued art. And said I want to make this what I want to do with my life. One day, and I just went forward that road, and I live comfy now. I'm happy with life. You know, just the whole entire like point of me, my existence of like what I want to do with art, just kind of like spread like the awareness of like if you follow your dreams, like they can become reality. You know, like it's possible if you put like enough effort into it and like believe in it enough. So yeah. Besides that, I've been like exploring a bunch of new stuff coming out with NFTs. There's like a feeling like they're back. I don't know. We'll see, you know, type thing. But I've been exploring this new site that is involving bonding curves on NFTs. So it seems pretty interesting. Something like innovative in the space. Haven't seen anyone do anything like that, to be honest. So that's kind of my current path outside of Pulse.
That's awesome, man.
Finger on the Pulse has a comment or a question. He says, I'm a holder of pDAI, pTGC, and UFO. Can you discuss holding pDAI if we peg versus rotating now into more pTGC and UFO, considering Hart's law?
Zen's great at that stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's the banana. Just so you know, I didn't hear anyone else talking besides you and Manda, so I hope I don't have to answer anything else. But to that question that you just said, there's like best case scenarios, other case scenarios, but naturally, if the pDAI pegging did occur, we would get tons of volatility, tons of our liquidity web growing. It would just pretty much put our machine into first gear. Like it would really start the thing going. And let's say pDAI pegs, there's kind of a cap to that number, right? And I look at our ecosystem like there is no cap. And that cap is now not getting too far away. It's only a 40x, where the amount of X's we can do are almost limitless. But I do want to see it go there because, one, we'll get the Hart's Law effect going up there. We'll get the volatility. We'll get the volume. Our web will grow. If it pegs there, that's awesome. Now we have a part of our liquidity web with a stable coin that would be like hundreds of millions of dollars possibly, which would be super bullish for us. And then on top of that, it would, every time the market shifts, we would have this huge leg of our liquidity web that wouldn't be shifting with the market. So constantly our machine would bounce off of this stable coin because it wouldn't be moving in the direction the rest of the market's moving. Because usually the rest of the market will move up and down together. Like if you ever notice, everything moves up one day, everything moves down the other. They kind of move in unison because everything's tied in liquidity together. So it's all kind of ratioing with each other. Everything's acting in Hart's Law. But, you know, there's no telling like what the best move is. You kind of got to just look at what's been happening and take an educated guess. You know, pDAI could just run up to $1. Ours could just turn on, you know, the MakerDAO collateralization. It could just get it automatically to $1. And then you could rotate that 40x right over to pTGC and UFO, and then pTGC and UFO could run up a 40x, you know, weeks after, and you can hit both X's and you can make out very well. Or it might move up slowly and they might just lockstep back and forth. It's kind of unknown, but we've tried to position ourselves, the pTGC and UFO ecosystem, where whatever the outcome is for Pulse Chain, we win either way. Because we're taking like educated guesses, you know, to get max performance, but we're also trying to be safe about it as well, to where any outcome that comes, we can still prevail. So for an example, if you're holding pDAI and the narrative isn't true, well, there goes your net value if all your value is held in pDAI, right? There is not much of a recovery from that place. But if you're in pTGC and UFO, you will get the gains that happen with the pDAI ecosystem due to Hart's Law. But if it does crash, we would get hit. Like it would be a beating. Like it would pull us down, that's for sure. I'm not saying that's not true. But we would survive it, and we would move on past that point. I think all of Pulse Chain would take a beating at that point. So that's one big reason why I think PDI survives and actually does have some sort of a narrative or some situation where it's meant to go to $1. Do we have all the pieces to that puzzle? I don't believe so. I think we're kind of guessing on a few parts of the image, making educated guesses, but I think it does have a part because it has definitely brought a lot of value to Pulse Chain. And, you know, I think if the PDI narrative in any way comes true, if it happens overnight, if it's lockstep, it really will make our machine thrive and excel. And then eventually that value will transition to RH tokens. And I think value will also transition to art tokens because our tokens are connected via probably just under $40 million in liquidity with RH tickers and blue chips. And then on top of that, we have deflationary mechanisms built into our system that keep increasing the price of our tokens, or are designed to increase the price of our tokens over time. Same system that's kind of built into Pulse X, but with a very, very small cup. So when you're a smaller thing, it actually is easier to buy and burn and control the price going up because there's less variables in play. We have more control of the situation. But on top of that, people are getting paid APY just for holding these assets. And if you think about it, once we run up a 10, 20, 50, 100x, the only way you're actually going to stay in the system for the most part is if you're getting APY. If you're not getting APY on your value, you're going to move to a place you are. And this is just the honest truth. If someone tells you differently, it's probably false. When anyone makes money in the real world in crypto, they eventually transition that value to a system that is paying them revenue on their value. They do not just hold it there and make no value on that revenue. People want to make money on money. So I don't know if that answered the question completely, but hopefully it helped.
I think it was good. I think that the other piece is just very on a simple level is just, you know, if you feel like you're just over positioned in something and it's keeping you up at night, you know, because obviously PDI is a very interesting scenario for everybody if you're in it, right? I mean, it's super speculative and it's an amazing speculation on the chain. The narrative is interesting, but you know, there's obviously not some guarantee of anything. So if you're sitting on a good amount and it's just emotionally like running havoc on you, yeah, that is a good time to maybe ping off a little percentage of that part of your portfolio into something you feel more comfortable in. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You can never go broke taking profits.
Fair point. Shall we read a tweet or two?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up this TC right now, but for some reason it like keeps dropping them when I bring them up.
Oh. Well, let's see.
Yeah, I've tried multiple times now. As soon as I bring them up, it drops them back down. I don't know why. So yeah, let's read a couple tweets. TC, sorry, I was trying to pull you up, but it's not letting me for some reason.
Maybe if you make me the co-host, I can bring him up. Or who is it? I don't see a TC.
He's gone now.
Okay.
Who left? But I just sent you the invite for co-host also.
Okay, got it. The Grays.
Yeah, let's go over some tweets.
Okay, the Grays added $48,200 to the pTGC Hex liquidity pool and burned it. The Grays doesn't stop. The machine continues to add massive blue chip value to its portfolio, handing real capital to holders. pTGC now boasts over a $1 million in burn liquidity with Hex. Yay! I didn't know it was that large. Are you tired of the value? Are you tired of the up and to the right? Are you tired of the trustless yield? Are you tired of winning? Too bad, because the grays are just getting started. And unlike most, the machine proves it, not with words, but week after week actions. That's how winning is done. We want to thank the community for your contributions and continued support. The grays still turning heads. And as a community member, I want to say you are absolutely welcome for the support. Yeah, I like that. I think that's the only banger tweet from the post TGC Twitter in the since Saturday. But Shaka Vibes posted something. I think it was yesterday. Did you read it, Zen?
Yeah, I did. You can, I retweeted it. So if you want to just go over to mine,
I've got
you can pull it up or pull it up on his account.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up on his. I was very impressed with the number. 11,000 views. 11,000. I don't know if any of my tweets has got 11,000 views. Shaka has like 500 followers on Twitter. Follow him, guys. Shaka, it's at Shaka_vibes. And he writes, an open letter to those who think it's too late for pTGC and UFO. To everyone feeling like they've missed their chance, let me share this. It's my firm belief that pTGC and UFO are among the rare tokens where being late to the party might actually work in your favor. Wow. What sets these projects apart isn't just hype or quick gains. It's the unique mechanics behind them. At the core is a robust and growing LP web intertwined with key tokens, innovative tokenomics, and transaction fees that work to your advantage. Every transaction forces automated market maker bots to pay fees, which are then funneled back to the holders and the project itself. The real beauty, as the LP web grows, these mechanisms only get more efficient and powerful. And here's the kicker. While early adopters helped build this framework, their contributions have made the LP web even larger and stronger for you to join. That is true. Far from being too late, you are stepping into a more optimized and mature system than those who got in first. Unlike typical crypto projects, pTGC and UFO are built differently. They're designed with sustainability and scalability in mind, creating long-term value rather than relying on fleeting hype. So don't make the mistake of treating these like just another project in the sea of crypto. Do your research, take a closer look, and see why these tokens stand out. The opportunity isn't over, it's evolving, and there's still room for you to be a part of it. That was so well written. It rang my bell, man. I was looking for something besides Pulse Chain hasn't moved yet as a reason to buy these assets, even when they've done so many X's.
Yeah, that tweet was really good.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, he's got a decent amount of followers, but you can see like a really well custom written out tweet can garner a lot of views. And, the algorithm, I think, just naturally pushes it out there when they can tell that there's been effort put into the post, right? And
that's a fair point. Yep.
And probably it could tell if people are like staring at it like a little bit longer reading it and stuff like that too. But I think, a good quality in the post, like if you're someone trying to educate people on pTGC and UFO, it's not always about the quantity. It also can be about quality, not quantity. And even if you do get a couple like really well written out educational pieces, you could possibly just save them for when the time comes that, the same question comes up. Because it's a lot of the same questions over and over again, right? Like, people asking or trying to understand, and you can just reuse your really well written out responses instead of just shooting them the quick response just because you're busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Well done, Chaka. I mean, that one, I was so impressed with the response. That was good. We got about 15 minutes left. Do you want to do some reflections, moon math?
If you want to go to my Twitter real quick, I wrote, I think one yesterday that was decent, and I wrote one this morning that was kind of off the same idea that Shaka wrote. If you want to run through them real quick.
Okay.
And then yeah, let's run some moon math. While Shaka reads this, if anyone, or not what Shaka, sorry, Banana. You're mixing my names up now. While Banana reads this, if anyone has any specific moon math items you want us to run, either come up and ask us to run them, or you can go in Banana's comments and comment what moon math simulations you would like us to do for pTGC and UFO.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a post that you put up within the last day. pTGC and UFO are battle-tested ships with one of the best, well-rounded, and strong-handed crews in crypto. The pTGC and UFO community have been setting up an amazing environment for all early community members coming in before the Pulse Chain revaluation. With currently over $40 million in liquidity pool, a simple 10x increase on Pulse Chain could elevate our LP web to $400 million. We just talked about that a little bit ago, putting us in a tier of assets that only a select group of major projects reach. Over a year of token redistribution has ensured that most users without a long-term vision have already been filtered out, leaving a battle-tested code and community. This ecosystem has already survived 2 80% dips and recovered flawlessly. The question you have to ask yourself is which ship will actually make it through the rough seas of crypto? You don't only need a strong ship, but a relentless crew. Battle-tested crew, good distribution, an army of individuals where success is the only option, and a value creation system that can keep everyone fed and thriving without compromising the value gained by the kingdom we are building. The honest truth is that 99% of ships sink to the bottom of the ocean and never reach their destination. The pTGC and UFO community have spent the last year ensuring our ship is equipped with all the weapons, strength, sails, and a strong crew ready for our journey. And yes, the journey hasn't even started yet. We are still very early, with the price of Pulse Chain being suppressed. But once these things start to move up, we will be hitting the sea and heading to the promised land. Well written.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, you don't have to do the next one. It's
yeah. Okay.
we've read 2 pretty long ones.
Agreed. Let's go to. Well, let's see if does anybody have any scenarios they want us to work on in the moon math? I don't see anything on YouTube. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go moon math or reflections?
Let's do a quick moon math scenario, and then let's bring whatever that value is. We'll make a estimation on what that could equal in the volume based on what we're seeing, and we'll just do both real quick.
Okay. And you like to do moon math 2.0, is that correct?
No, we'll do normal moon math.
Okay. Let me get an address off my. Let me grab an address.
I think they have the quick address for moon math and the LP. Yeah, I don't think you need an address for moon math.
Okay. Do we need to go into advanced mode?
You will need to go to expert mode for, or whatever, I forget what it's called, for the reflection area, but not for the moon math area.
Okay. Okay. I am not seeing an address.
You don't need an address. It's just the quick buttons.
Oh, okay.
You just hit
Okay.
pTGC or UFO.
Do you want to do pTGC Pulse?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, right. I follow you. Sorry. X factor of 2. Target price 0.05. Do you want to change anything?
Yeah. Let's do an X factor of 5.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask you, Banana, if you had to make a modest guess of how many X's you believe Pulse Chain will do this cycle, what would you say?
Easy. Modest. 100. 100.
100.
Yeah, we're not. RH is not going to be content with anything less than 100.
Okay, put 100X there then.
Okay, so that's 100 times 0.00.
Or you can just write 100X.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, calculate. Now we're going to see what pTGC would be priced at. 500X potential, 23 cents. 100X on Pulse right now puts pTGC at 23 cents, but that's given to with a number 5 of X factor.
Yeah, that would equal anyone holding the pTGC token a 500X.
Yes.
Correct. Yep.
23 cent pTGC. Good grief. Good grief. Woo. Happy days would be there, man. That'd be good. So you want to take this over to the reflections now, or are we not done with this?
No, I'd say we can take that over to the reflections page.
All right, let's go.
So if we were to do a 500X in that fashion, I would estimate, and this is just briefly, that our LP web would do roughly a 200X.
Okay.
So
Whoa.
For one, you can times 200 times 40 million, and you actually start to get ridiculously high numbers, like almost numbers that
8 billion.
kind of scare you. Yeah.
How about an $8 billion liquidity web?
Yeah, it would be insane, right? And people are kind of questioning, like, what is going to bring adoption to Pulse Chain, things like that. Like, if Pulse Chain is remotely successful, 100X, that's not remotely. I think that would be a good successful move for Pulse Chain. But there would be altcoins that would, in my opinion, catch the eyes of everyone in crypto. That stuff doesn't exist currently. So, and that's just due to tokens weren't able to pair with Ethereum at the very, very bottom. It just wasn't a thing. So
yeah,
RH is really setting us up to succeed. And that's so nice that we were able to build these systems at the bottom, and not only build them, but get them to this size. And that's kind of what Shaka was getting at is, people really put in a lot of hard efforts to get this ship to where it's at for anyone who wants on board. It wasn't just thrown together. It's battle tested and ready to sail. But, let's say for this experiment, let's say at that time, our volume is at, let's do 40 million a day. So if you go to expert mode in the reflections tab.
Yep. Okay, we're going to set it to 40 million. That's $40 million of volume, everybody.
A day. Yeah. And that would have to be average throughout the year. So some days could be more, some days could be less. But what we're saying in this example is that we had 40 million in volume a day. And with our system, that doesn't need to be by humans buying. Like me and Banana were just talking about, if we can get this liquidity web to a size of huge magnitude, the system will be completely unreliant on humans having to transact. Obviously, humans will just be a bonus, but being mechanically driven is a huge plus. That's where the world is headed, with AI, robots, etc.
Yes. I clicked on try demo, and I think what happens is it inputs a wallet address for us. which is pretty cool. And this wallet is a squid. And it would garner at an APY of 86%, and that's on reflections only. The yearly yield would be $3,500.
So, Banana, real quick. So if this person was staked, their APY would probably be around 200%, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And their yearly yield would be not 3,500, but probably 7,000 plus.
Let's say this person was bigger than a squid, because you can scroll down and see what a dolphin would get at in this scenario, a shark, etc.
Yes. I'm starting to understand this site a little better the more I use it. So a dolphin, which is one sea creature above squid, would garner $11,000 in reflections only, $22,000, and that's per year. $22,000 per year, if you include the reflections and staking. And just so you guys know, a dolphin position right now, one dolphin position is $13,000. A squid is $1,300. Okay, so squid position, $1,300, earning $2,000 in a year but that is at $40 million in volume per day for a whole year.
Awesome. And one thing that's interesting that I just want to point out is this yield is paid out by the system generating outside value and bringing it in. So this yield isn't paid out from inflation of supply. It's paid out by actually a yield generating system or a value generating system, which then in turn makes it to where that yield is paid out. It isn't actually directly damaging to the price chart, which is important.
Yeah. Yep, indeed. Well, is there anything else you want to go over? Is there anything else that anybody would like to go over? We have 182 viewers then on YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate you.
Yeah. So if no one has any last minute questions, we will be shutting it down. So last call.
Hey, Zen, I think maybe the last thing you can do is just speak to, because this is helpful for people who don't understand how the system works with the reflexivity of the LP. But right now you can see that PDI took a nice dip. Ink took a nice dip. Looks like the mean is like 7% on the day. Pulse is at 76 now. So when you're seeing a pullback on pTGC and UFO of 9.5 and 8.5, it's the connection with the LPs.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Hart's law, it works in both directions. I know people like to think it doesn't, but when you're connected with all these other assets so heavily, you do move with them. We obviously as a community prefer it in an upwards direction, but not every day is going to be in an upwards direction as a whole. So some days we will, see a down day, and it's not only due to possibly people taking profits from our ecosystem, but it's just a down day from the ecosystem. But for these down days, if you kind of zoom out on the chart, you can see that we've had a lot more green days than red days. And that's how I kind of look at it is, if you zoom out from the last year, we've had more green days than red days. And that's not only on our ecosystem, but on some of the ecosystems we're connected to too. So just kind of zoom out. And we are looking like we're running into a good few months of market timing. So if you don't have the positions that you're looking for in pTGC and UFO, maybe look at these dips as opportunities, because the dip isn't necessarily only coming from downwards pressure on pTGC and UFO. The majority of the dip is actually the market dipping and us getting dragged with it. But what you can do is use that to your advantage as an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to. And you can kind of just be along for the ride, and as the market goes up and down, let the machine do its thing and make value off of the market going up and down like it does. And that's pretty much the only guarantee we have. And rake in some APY, let the tokens buy and burn itself, and let your position naturally increase its size on its own. It's that option too.
Yeah. It's a beautiful machine that has been created. We're all everybody that holds it, I'm sure, would agree with me. We're very thankful to be here at this time.
Yeah, it's just getting started. I think we're going to be a lot more thankful.
Yeah, I agree. There's no ceiling for it.
Yeah. I'm glad people
Thanks,
are
Sam.
already thankful, but I think with this just being the beginning, I think it's going to get a lot more interesting. So
Yeah, and Crypto Stylist, I wanted to just give you a shout out. I've really begun to love your posture within our community. You bring a very balanced, gracious approach, and I just want you to know that I appreciate that. I'm learning from you in that area, and we should give shout outs where it's due. So thank you for all of your work and doing what you've been doing on behalf of the community. It's a blessing to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Also, I'm sure when she was speaking, she maybe touched base on this, but she also has really worked hard on getting some interviews for pTGC and UFO. And I wanted to let you know, Stylist, that I really, really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to get in front of some bigger YouTubers and stuff like that and educate not only them, because I want them to be properly educated, because I know they're busy and it's hard for them to look at every project, but also be able to educate their followers and their community as well. So thank you for putting that effort in to get pTGC and UFO in front of their faces. Because sometimes when these people are busy, it's hard to get something in front of their face. So thank you for going the extra mile and doing the extra effort to get me there. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, and let's plug that again, guys, and let's be on that, because Coffee's phenomenal, super smart, one of the best people on Pulse Chain, one of the best educators we've got. That's going to be a super awesome decentralized finance conversation between Coffee and TGZ. So please attend that and push that out. I'll make sure that everybody that gets pushed out into the channels, and you guys can do that for coming aboard, learn from all of that. It would be a great time.
Yeah, I don't think I have an official link yet, but it's at Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
And I put the link in the YouTube to his channel. I think he has 37,000 subs. So let's help him be thankful that he interviewed the founder of UFO and pTGC, or one of the founders, by lighting up his chat, liking his video, and subscribing to his channel. He'd be happy if we would light it up. I'm planning to be there. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, Coffee's awesome. I think he's gonna bring a nice an angle to it. The way he thinks, the way he explains things, and I'm sure he's gonna open up a very awesome dialogue with you, Zen. So be ready.
40,000 subs, actually. Coffee I was talking to somebody yesterday and they reminded me, he's a very conservative thinking, very, very even keeled kind of gentleman. So I've always liked him.
He's an educator, man. He's a very good guy, and he's an educator. And the content he puts out has just been super helpful for the entire community. And you know, if you Google Pulse Chain on YouTube or anything like that, I mean, his channel's the #1 channel. So
Yeah.
he is the guy.
Yeah. So this is an opportunity, is what we're trying to convey. This is amazing that hey, Zen's going to be on Crypto Coffee. So let's take full advantage of it.
Yeah, man.
Awesome, guys.
All right, man. Well, thanks, Zen. Thanks for coming on and hosting, and Prairie, everybody for coming in. We'll see you in the next one.
Yep. See you guys Saturday.
All right. Yeah. Just real quick, Banana, thank you for co-hosting with me. I really appreciate it. Mando, thank you for coming up and just adding to the conversation. Everyone else who came up also, I really appreciate you guys coming up and adding to the conversation, asking questions, adding to the convo. And if you didn't come up, just thanks for listening, guys. See ya.
See you guys. And that's that. That's our space stream. How did it go? It went good. No issues. So yeah, man. Crypto Coffee. Let's do it. Wednesday. 10. Is that it's gonna be 11 a.m. Eastern. All right, guys. Have a great week. Oh, there is going to be a voice chat tomorrow at 6 p.m. in Telegram. And then I'll do an AMA on Wednesday, another voice chat, 11 a.m. on Thursday, Space Stream, 10 a.m. on Saturday. All right, guys. Perry Banana out.